Right here, on the mountainside, I make peace with what is about to come. Hello, and welcome back again. Today, for you, I have the third and last planned episode for Rex Life. Finally, made it to adult. Upon logging in, before getting my recording software loaded, I was attacked by a juvenile Rex. After popping that Tic Tac into my mouth, it's time to swagger out of here. I've been spending almost all my time in the north part of the map. I think I'm ready for a change of scenery. I'll be making my way to Greatfalls, the complete opposite of the map. A journey like that could take an hour, maybe two, for a full-grown Rex. A journey that progresses one loud, slow footstep at a time. As I crest the mountain and gain sight of the valley below, I know to keep a low profile. There's frequently players nesting in this area. Today is no different. Three shining pair of eyes, apparently looking right back at me. Two ceratosaurs and a Dilophosaurus. There's no way I can catch these dinosaurs. They are far too agile and stamina efficient. Luckily, for now, it seems as if we're going in the same direction. Maybe I'll get to eat them later. It's honestly wild to me that these players saw me. It could just be coincidence that they were leaving, I suppose. An adult Rex is a lumbering beast. I'll need to work at being clandestine if I'm going to catch future prey. People often think of this game as a walking simulator. While they aren't wrong, I prefer to think of it more as a picturesque landscape generator. I walked through this generator all morning and half of the day. It was a beautiful but uneventful walk. We are so close now. The pack we had been following is long gone, but that's okay. This area has so much more to offer. My journey more or less began here. I was a little more secluded just east, but this place was my first hunting grounds. I'm excited to return at the top of the food chain. We finally arrive at Hot Springs. I hear many different calls. I pick out what I think is the loudest and begin to stalk the area. Tyrannosaurus rex was a highly successful hunter in its time, with much evidence pointing towards it being an ambush-oriented predator. To determine such things of extinct and living animals, they generally look at a few factors. Size and speed. Can it realistically catch its prey? Bite force. Would it require more than one bite to kill its prey? And sensory abilities. Can it detect its prey before it gets detected itself? Predatory animals are divided into subclasses based on the tactics they use to predate. True predators. These predators hunt and kill their prey directly. They can be ambush predators and they can be active predators. They do both. Ambush predators, they rely on stealth and surprise to catch the prey that comes close. Think of crocodiles, snakes, any sort of, animal that has a trapping mechanism, like, you see some spiders with, like, trapdoor burrows and, stuff like that, ant lions. And then there's active predators. They actively pursue and chase their prey. So you can think wolves, cheetahs, bears, this sort of thing. There's 3 more tactics that are listed, but they're not exactly relevant. There's the planktivores. They are predators that only eat plankton. I'm assuming those are just whales. Parasites. They live in or on a host and consume it for resources. And then there's parasitoids. They live on or in a host, but they eventually kill their host. All of this to say, I love how Adult Rex plays in the Isle. You need to ambush your prey if you're going to score a kill. Unless, of course, you're being hunted and you simply use your immense strength to turn the tides of battle. You saw a great example of the ambush style with the sub-adult Giganotosaurus that I hunted earlier. You'll see it again here, where it all started at Secret Pond. I've been hearing a Rex and a Sucho. Let's see what happens. Scary battle. Had the Suchomimus managed to stay behind me for a little longer, he may have been able to bleed me out. Luckily, the fight is over quickly. In the situation where you're being tail-ridden, it's very important to always mix up which direction you're biting in, to change the tempo of your movement, and to change the height of your bites with crouching. Knowing your dinosaur also goes a long way. The Rex has a significantly larger left hitbox, so faking a right turn and quickly biting to the left can often result in a confrontation-ending bite. At 90% growth and a meal to last, I'm sure I'll hit 100% growth at this rate. Finally, some new places ahead. The next 3 watering holes I'll be going to are Murky Pond, Dual Pond, and then Trike Mountain, aka Hidden Lake. The first on the list is still far yet, and I can't begin the journey until I finish eating this body. Eventually, I do make it to my first destination. It's dark, and there's nothing here. Except for that AI Ava Triceratops you just heard. While I don't need to eat, I'm still not fully grown. Until the point that I am, missing free meals is a bad idea.
What's a bad idea?
So, I chase it down, burning some of my stamina in exchange for filling my stomach. Then, decide to take a little nap role-playing as the Loch Ness Monster. I like to take these moments of safety to run the clock down on nighttime. I know the footage in the dark is not usually very pretty to look at. But, in this game, nighttime accounts for half of all playtime. I arrive at Dual Pond shortly after departing Mercury. I'm welcomed with a small treat, a medium-sized gore, but not another dinosaur in sight. So far, our travels have taken us approximately 1/3 of the length of the map. I'll surely hit 100% growth once I reach my next destination. It's getting late in real life, and the population of the server is dwindling. I'd prefer to continue when the threat of other players is very real. Finally, Trike Mountain. There's a few dinosaurs here, a Dryosaur and 2 juvenile Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'm much, much larger than them. I'm happy to sit here and hit full-grown adult and come back tomorrow. We did it. We finally made it to full-grown Rex. It's the next day. I try and remain solo for these kinds of playthroughs, but alas, I can't not play with my good real-life friend, Hefty. I take a very, very large detour to meet up with him. On the way to Titan's Lake, I run into another Rex. I get wind of his existence far before he knows I'm there. I'd love to fight this Rex one-on-one, but I'll save the potentially run-ending fights for the end. For now, let's meet up with Hefty. We decide to meet up at Central Swamp. There's 3 swamps on this map, all within close proximity. They're the West, Central, and East swamps. It's a beautiful part of the map, truly, but not too many people come here. I personally think it's because using the sniff mechanic is really frustrating in this area. The water all around you lights up, and you can barely see anything. We finally both arrive at the swamp. Hefty is playing a Carnotaurus, and as you can see by its colors, this Rex is not me. He's been in crouch now for 10 minutes, looking around the swamp, not once leaving his ambush. Kind of a cheesy strategy, but it pays off. Well, there goes all that time meeting up with him. What do you guys think? Do we want more on Hefty? Or is it more on Hefty? Let me know. I talk with the Rex. We decide that maybe we are better off pairing up for the time being. Little did I know, we would spend hours together. I forgot his exact name now, but it was something like Crunch TV or Crunchy Crunch TTV, something like that. I tell them of my ambitions to make it to Great Falls. They like the idea, and our minds are made up. Anxiety stirs in this herd of Diablo Triceratops. An adult with blue markings seems to have broken his leg in the commotion. A single Shentungosaurus towers above them, a pillar of protection. A truly giant herbivore who can go on their hind legs and stomp the ground with tremendous power. Enough to kill a full adult Rex in a single hit. But it wouldn't be called hunting if it was a fair fight. The battle is already over, and was over long before they knew of our presence. Back up to when this Diablo was still alive and breathing. While it eats, we make our approach. The rain completely masks the sounds of our thundering footsteps. It's unlikely this dinosaur even knew what hit them. They died so incredibly quick, I didn't even get to participate. A common theme with Crunch. But still, I get to enjoy the fruits of his labor. We have some time still before we reach Great Falls. I want to take this time here to thank everyone for watching. I love making these videos, I love talking about dinosaurs, and I love learning about dinosaurs. If you want to see more of this and new forms of content I have planned, please interact with this video in any way you see fit. I would be wholly unable to make these videos without you. Thank you. 2 subadult Tyrannosaurus rex. Unfortunately for them, T-Rex is cannibalistic. For obvious reasons, it can't be 100% proven, but bite marks on T-Rex bones have been matched to teeth of other Tyrannosaurids, more or less confirming that T-Rex was cannibalistic, or opportunistically so. A single bite takes down both subadults. That's not something you see every day. The closer sub wanted to live so badly that it ran in the direction of its other sibling. Kind of a, I don't have to outrun the bear, I just need to outrun you kind of mentality. In reality, the bear gets you both. It's interesting. I have over 1,000 hours in the Isle Legacy. I even have a second account with a few hundred. I have never once been to this location before. Honestly, I can't believe it either. It's beautiful, it has tons of outward visibility, and naturally defensive choke points. I'll certainly be nesting here in the future. During the night, we make it to Gold Pond. We were hearing plenty of dinosaur noises during our approach, but as usual with playing Apex, once we arrive, we couldn't spot any of the dinos we heard. Here's a sneaky Allosaurus hiding in some rocks. We were so close, searching for him all night, but he eluded us. Sometimes, being completely silent and still is your best defense. The next morning, Crunch and I head upstream, slowly making our way to Great Falls, making sure to hit all the popular areas along the way. We come across a fresh adult Rex at the river, noticeably smaller than us. For a cold killer, Crunch has a soft spot. He tells me if we aren't starving, we should let him be. His journey as an adult is just beginning, and it would be a shame for it to end so soon. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted. It's not every day the Isle blesses you with such a large free meal. It would be pretty canon based on current scientific evidence as well for us to be cannibals. The frequency of distinctive bite marks in tyrannosaur bones suggests it was a frequent occurrence. But I guess that's just not how we do. Funny, after watching the new Rex video by OwLTime, it shows in Everma, the new Rex on the Horde test gets a debuff of muscle spasms if they choose to be cannibals. If you haven't seen that video, you should definitely check it out. I get a lot of my inspiration from his videos. A few steps upstream, we run into another Rex. But this one isn't normal. With the ability to pick up bodies, change color, bite, and sprint super fast, it's not a dinosaur we want to mess with. He's clearly a hacker. So, in an attempt to not provoke him, we submit and watch his little show. I wasn't sure if I was going to add this part because glorifying a hacker is what I'm assuming keeps them going, but it was a part of our journey after all. And with such a happy ending to this hacker's story, why not? We watch him get kicked and banned in real time by an admin playing a Utah Raptor. sorry for the shoddy camera look on this one. It was pretty hard to track this guy, but right as he charges the Utah at the end, you see he just pops out of existence. Also, for some reason, I think because he was hacking, it messed with the replay files a lot, so there was this really annoying, grainy sound a lot of the time when I was zoomed in on him or near him, so it's another reason why the camera really doesn't look too good. And so, my journey with Crunch ends. We never did make it to Great Falls. I'm not far, though, just one river system over to the west. I forgot the name of the place, but it's nice and secluded, perfect for logging in and out, and it's just a short distance from Great Falls. The next day, I logged in to play solo, and in the night, I walked to Great Falls. Here is the path I took. Right now, I'm sneaking up on a raptor who's nesting. I don't usually kill dinosaurs sitting in their nests, but I'm hungry and I can clearly tell they aren't AFK. Just earlier I saw their head moving around. You know this person is about to have a heart attack. They had just enough time to stand before I got them. Maybe, just maybe, if they jumped while getting out of their sit animation, they may have juked me. But I scored myself a meal. More like a snack, but it'll do. Now to me, that sounds like a proper meal. Let's see what herbivores Great Falls has in store for me. I employ one of the oldest and most prolific tricks in the Isle Gamer's Handbook. If you go into crouch and gain ambush speed, you can retain it while drinking. Classic trick to have any herbivore get just a little too close. They are understandably cautious, but also seem eager for me to be aggressive. I'll bide my time and pounce when the moment is right. I'll be aiming for a time where the Theory isn't looking, as that dinosaur is my biggest threat in this herd. If the Theory gets behind you, you're as good as dead. At this point, they're obviously suspicious of my never-ending thirst. God knows what's going through their heads at this point. But I know what's going through mine. Who's gonna be dinner? I'm fairly confident I would have won the fight against the Triceratops. But, in an effort to help the herd apex, the Theory charges back in, directly into my jaws. A single bite dispatches the Theory, and I'm eating chicken. The next day in the morning, while walking around minding my own business, a pair of Utah Raptors come after me with something to prove. A Utah Raptor who dethrones a king is truly one who has mastered their dinosaur. But, to be honest, I've never once been worried fighting Utahs as an apex, especially a Tyrannosaurus. Sorry about the chat. I usually blur it out, but I know it's really rough visually for you guys, so please ignore it, because in my eyes, the toxic community is the worst part of this game. As you can tell by my gameplay in these past few videos, I'm not exactly the best PvPer, but I'm always trying to do better, and I do know the general theory behind most of the matchups. For a 1v1 against a Shant, I know ambush speed is important, as otherwise the Shant will just take you for a ride. I know to try and turn fight towards the left, not the right, and I know stomp equals death. And so the circle of life continues, and my journey is reset. Time for a new story. I wanted this video to be longer and contain a few more high-level fights. I even had plans of introducing an antagonist. However, now that I'm a new father, I'm pretty low on time. Hopefully, in the future, I'll have new and interesting things for you to watch. Leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the video, or if you have any feedback on how I can do better. Thank you so much for your time, and goodbye for now.